the weekend. You know how stressful it is balancing school and travel. She sighed dramatically, making sure everyone around heard her. But maybe I'll use our family's private jet to fly back in time. I wouldn't want to miss your party. James grinned. You're amazing, Sophia. It wouldn't be the same without you. Vanessa chimed in, her voice full of admiration. Sophia, you're too much. A private jet just to make it to a party. You're such a queen. Sophia soaked in the compliments, imagining how the students would talk about her wealth long after the party. In her mind, her place as the school's star was secure. The next morning, as students gathered at the school gate, Sophia's voice could be heard arguing loudly with someone outside. Curious, a few students glanced over, only to see her standing in front of a modestly dressed woman holding a basket of food. I told you not to come here, Sophia hissed, glancing around nervously. What if someone sees you? The woman, her face weary but kind, pleaded softly. Sophia, I just wanted to bring you some homemade food. You've been looking thin lately, my child. Sophia snatched the basket and pushed it back toward her. I don't want it, and stop calling me that. Just leave before someone notices. The woman hesitated, her voice breaking. Sophia, I'm doing everything I can for you. You know how hard it was for me to convince Mr. Okocha to let you study here. Please, don't be ashamed of me. The students nearby began whispering, unsure of who the woman was. Sophia's eyes darted around anxiously. She stepped closer to the woman, lowering her voice but still filled with anger. I told you to leave. You're embarrassing me. Just go. When the woman didn't move fast enough, Sophia pushed her. The woman stumbled backward, falling to the ground. Emily, who had just arrived on her bicycle, froze at the sight. Her heart ached for the woman and boiled with anger at Sophia. She quickly dropped her bike and rushed over to help. Are you okay, ma'am? Emily asked gently, helping the woman to her feet. She turned to Sophia, her voice firm. How could you treat an elderly woman like this? Sophia glared at Emily, her mind racing as she saw James and a few other students approaching. Without hesitation, she pointed at the woman and sneered. Oh, don't act so righteous, Emily. Isn't this your mother? Why don't you keep her away from the school gates? Emily's jaw tightened. My mother would never be treated like this because I respect her. What's your excuse? The crowd murmured in confusion, unsure of who to believe. Sophia took a step back, her expression icy. You can't fool anyone, Emily. Stop pretending to be better than you are. Emily ignored Sophia's taunts and turned back to the woman, who was still brushing dust off her dress. Let me help you, ma'am, she said softly, guiding her to a bench nearby. Thank you, my dear, the woman whispered. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Emily smiled reassuringly. You didn't cause any trouble. Sophia watched the scene from a distance, her stomach churning. Her mother's modest appearance will not match the wealth she had been pretending to have. She couldn't let anyone find out the truth, no matter what. Later, Emily overheard students talking about her encounter with Sophia. Did you see Emily yelling at her mother this morning? One girl said, shaking her head. How embarrassing. She's always trying to act like she's better than us, another added. Bike girl thinks she's important. The rumors stung, but Emily held her head high. She knew the truth, even if the others didn't. Meanwhile, Sophia, Vanessa, and James sat together in the cafeteria, laughing as they spread more gossip about Emily. Can you believe her? Sophia said with a fake laugh. She's so desperate to seem perfect. James chuckled. I'll say, she probably thinks standing up to you makes her brave. Vanessa leaned in, her voice dripping with sarcasm. It's pathetic, really. She'll never fit in here. Sophia smirked, satisfied, but deep down she knew Emily's calm strength made her look weak in comparison, and she hated it. As the days went on, the bullying intensified. Students whispered behind Emily's back, made fun of her clothes, and called her names. But Emily refused to let them see her falter. She reminded herself of her father's words. Your worth isn't in what others think. It's in what you do. Despite everything, Emily stayed focused. She didn't know how long she could endure the cruelty, but she knew one thing for sure. She wouldn't let Sophia's lies define her. The air buzzed with excitement as James's party began. The spacious hall of his family mansion was filled with music, laughter, and Gracefield College's elite students. Sophia stood at the center of it all, radiant in a glittering dress that screamed wealth. Her friends Vanessa and James flanked her, feeding her ego with compliments. "I have a little surprise for tonight," Sophia said, smirking as she glanced at Emily, who had just walked in. James, following Sophia's request, had personally invited Emily, assuring her it would be a casual gathering. Emily had arrived wearing a simple but neat dress. Her braided hair was tied back and she carried herself with her usual quiet confidence. The room went silent as students turned to stare. Sophia wasted no time. Well, Emily," Sophia said loudly, her voice dripping with mockery. "Did you stop by a thrift store on your way here? Or is this vintage?" Laughter erupted and Emily felt the weight of dozens of eyes on her. Her cheeks warmed, but she took a deep breath and smiled. "Thank you for noticing, Sophia. It's vintage. Not that you will believe me." The calmness in her voice caught a few students off guard. Whispers spread through the crowd as some began to admire Emily's grace under pressure. Sophia's smirk faltered for a moment, but she quickly recovered. "Oh, I just adore how humble you are, Emily. In fact, let's make tonight more fun. How about a little competition? Let's see if you have any talents to match that confidence." The room grew quiet as all eyes shifted between the two girls. Emily looked at Sophia, her expression calm but firm. "What kind of competition?" "Anything you want," Sophia replied, shrugging. "But I'm sure we all know how this will end." James, noticing the tension, stepped in. "Let's make it fair, Sophia. Emily, do you sing or play an instrument? Maybe that could be your talent." Emily hesitated but nodded. "I can sing a little." Sophia's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. "Perfect. Let's give her the spotlight." She motioned toward the stage where a microphone and piano waited. Emily took the stage confidently. The room was silent, and she could feel the weight of everyone's expectations. She closed her eyes for a moment, gathering her thoughts, then began to sing. Her voice was soft and clear, carrying a heartfelt melody that filled the hall. As the song progressed, the audience grew quiet, captivated by the emotion in her voice. Even the students who had mocked her earlier found themselves listening intently. When she finished, there was a brief moment of silence before the room erupted in applause. Sophia's face darkened as she forced a smile. "Well, that was unexpected," she said, her tone strained. But the admiration in the room was undeniable. As the party continued, a tall, well-dressed young man approached Sophia. He had an air of confidence and introduced himself with a charming smile. "Hi, I'm Richard Okoro," he said, extending his hand. "You must be Sophia." Sophia's eyes lit up as she recognized the name. The Okoro family was one of the wealthiest in the region, known for their successful businesses. This was exactly the opportunity she had been waiting for. "Nice to meet you, Richard," she said, her voice sweet. "I've heard a lot about your family." "I've heard about you too," Richard replied. "Would you like to go out sometime? Maybe dinner?" Sophia's heart raced as she saw her classmates watching the exchange, their eyes wide with envy. She smiled coyly. "I'd love to." James, standing nearby, clenched his fists. He had always admired Sophia and felt a pang of jealousy as she eagerly accepted Richard's invitation. Vanessa whispered excitedly, "Sophia, this is perfect. You and Richard make a perfect pair." Sophia's mind was already working. "If I can make him fall for me, I'll secure my place in the elite forever. I just need to keep up this image for a little longer." She smiled to herself, feeling triumphant. The next day, Sophia spread a new rumor through her circle of friends. "Did you see how Emily was acting at the party?" she whispered. "She's obviously trying to snag someone rich like Alex. It's pathetic." The rumor spread quickly, and soon Emily found herself the target of more whispers and pointed stares. Students avoided her in the hallways, sneering as she walked by. But Alex wasn't having any of it. "That's enough, Sophia," Alex said sharply when he overheard her comments during lunch. "You have no right to talk about Emily like that." Sophia's face turned red with anger. "Oh, come on, Alex. I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking." "No, you're spreading lies," Alex replied firmly. Emily has more character than most people here, and you know it. Sophia glared at him, her